Relay for Life, but I'm also a relayer. Cancer has decimated my family. I relay for all of those who have gone before me. I relay to finish the fight and to win this war against cancer. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and my journey with cancer and why I relay. So on Christmas Eve 2011, my Uncle Randy was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer. At this time, my grandma was actually dying of Alzheimer's, and it was already a really difficult time for my family. She passed away 10 days after my uncle's diagnosis. My uncle was only given 6 months to live. He was 59 years old. During this time, my grandpa started not feeling well. Preliminary tests suggested lymphoma, but the tests were inconclusive. Doctors said that it was slow growing and that something else would probably actually kill him because he was 84 years old, and they just didn't think it was that big of a deal. I should probably give you a little bit of background on my grandparents and the importance that they had in my life. They weren't only my grandparents, they were my neighbors. I actually lived next door to my grandparents for the first 14 years of my life. I spent many nights over there. I ate many meals over there. You know, I learned some pretty significant life lessons from my grandparents. I learned how to get up and go to work in the morning. I learned how to cook from my grandparents. I learned how to love one another from my grandparents. I learned how to be a spouse from my grandparents, and I learned how to be a partner and a parent from my grandparents. They played a pivotal role in my life. You know, the other thing that I should probably mention about my grandpa in particular, the one that I was just telling you, he started not feeling good. My grandpa was actually the chief of police in Everett during the late 70s and early 80s. Prior to that, he was a Marine. He was in China right after World War II. He was just, I always joke that my grandpa probably wrote the John Wayne Handbook. His motto was, walk it off. Walk it off, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and don't you dare cry. He was just a man. He was a tough man, and nothing bothered him, and he literally walked it off. And he was really brave, and he was just my hero. He was absolutely my hero. And they just played a big role in my life. They were there every step of the way. They were there when I was born. They were there for proms. They were there for my wedding. They were just a really pivotal role in my life, and really more than grandparents. My grandpa especially was more than a grandparent to me. It was a joke. People used to call us peas and carrots, and he was my calm in the storm. He was there, you know, when I was a kid. He was always there for me, and he was always consistent, and he was always my calm in the storm. So, to go back, my uncle actually passed away 7 months after his diagnosis. He lived a little bit longer than they anticipated. He actually made it to his 60th birthday. He died of pancreatic cancer at 60 years old. So here's my poor grandpa. He lost the love of his life in January of 2012. He was married to my grandma for 65 years. 7 months later, he lost his youngest child to cancer. It was probably one of the most difficult times in our family. So my grandpa's so-called lymphoma, you know, like I said, they said it was lymphoma. It was probably slow growing. They said something else would probably kill him. It was being monitored, but, you know, there wasn't a lot of stuff being paid attention to. But he got, it changed. Things changed here just recently. My uncle died August 28th, 2012. And March of this year, he got pneumonia. My grandpa got pneumonia, and he just wasn't feeling well. And he had this terrible cough. And the doctor said it was pneumonia, but he just couldn't get rid of it. And on June 5th, he went into the hospital because he couldn't breathe. And what we found out was that it was not lymphoma. It was actually stage 4 kidney cancer that had metastasized into his lungs. And it was stage 4, and it was terminal. And the doctor said that he probably, with certain types of treatment, had between 9 months and a year to live, and without the treatment, 6 to 8 weeks. Our family was just, we were devastated. So he started treatment. Like I said, he's a Marine. He's a fighter. He was like, let's do the treatment. And he started treatment June 17th, I think. and he did 3 treatments. They were once a week. He did 3 treatments, and he oh my gosh, on July 10th, he stopped his treatment. He said he didn't think it was working, and he stopped his treatment. And yikes. I promised I wasn't going to cry, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So since the beginning of June, my life has just been, it's been a blur. It's been a blur of hospitals. It's been a blur of oncologists. It's been a blur of nursing homes. And then it's been a blur of hospice services. So 5 weeks ago, my grandpa was eating ice cream, and he was driving his own car. He was attending church. He was having conversations with my kids. He was having conversations with me. Yeah, he was completely self-sufficient. He was living on his own. So on July 5th, my grandpa had to go to nursing. Things progressed really, really fast. He had to go to nursing. He was not able to drive. He wasn't able to take care of himself. In just a short span of time, he wasn't able to dress himself. Things progressed just really, really fast. So that was, what, 12 days ago? Yeah. So on July 10th, like I said, my grandpa decided to stop the treatment. Last Friday, hospice came. He went to nursing, and hospice came. And 5 days ago, on July 14th, 2013, at 10:58 p.m., cancer took my grandpa. So 5 days ago, I lost my grandpa. I was holding his hand when he died. And it was one of the hardest and most beautiful experiences that I've ever had. My grandpa's my hero. And he fought this fight so hard, and it was so fast. And like I said, it was just a blur. But, he died with grace and dignity, just like I knew he would. So, my life will never be the same. It'll never be the same after that, 5 days ago. My heart's broken. I can't imagine my life without him. I'm almost 37 years old, don't tell anybody. I'm almost 37 years old, and I've had a birthday card from him every single year. I don't get one this year. I don't know what I'm going to do without him. So this is all so new, and I'm still kind of numb, honestly. And I, just from the experiences I've had here at the American Cancer Society and all of the people that I've talked to that have lost loved ones, I know that this is going to get better with time. I know that time will heal this, but today I'm not so sure. So, today I keep joking with my friends that I think I'm in the anger phase of the grief. I'm angry that cancer took my strong grandpa, my Marine grandpa. I'm angry about that today, but, I'm angry, so I'm fighting back. I'm fighting back. That's why I relay. I relay for my grandpa, so that other granddaughters and grandsons and kids. My dad was here today, and he was the one that actually held the flag when we did the national anthem. I relay today, so, sons don't have to lose their dads, and so granddaughters don't have to lose their grandpas. So I'm not going to cry.